How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow? Oh no, that's tradition, bro.
No, that's all good.
My favorite one from broadcasting school.
Yeah.
And it definitely clears your throat, gets that mucus out. How now, brown cow?
Get your lips moving. All that.
I'm ready.
Man.
We pros.
Brother man.
What's up, man?
Corey Young.
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on, sir? How are you today?
I'm feeling good, surprisingly. Maybe it's the tequila, but yeah.
Might be that. Well, this is the third episode that we've done of Laugh with a Comedian with me, Daryl Reese. I got my man Corey Young in front of me. It's an honor to have you here, sir. Again, much appreciated. As we take a deep dive into just the lives of comedians, I want to do a showcase based off of comedians specifically, because nobody gets a chance to tell our stories. So comedians, writers, and just how do you differentiate yourself from 1,000,001 other comics out here? So we're going to take a dive into that. But again, thank you, brother man, for showing up. I know we had some scheduling issues before.
This is Reese's way of saying I was bullshitting. My bad.
But the crazy thing is, it's happened every single interview. But we got shit to do. We have lives to live and all that.
Do they?
Most people do. Yeah.
Okay.
The people that I've had here.
I talk your shit because maybe I was projecting.
Yeah, the folks that I've had here. I want to take, again, just an opportunity and say thank you, my man. I know you got a lot of things going. You've done a lot of things. You're doing a lot of things actively. And I want to say just thank you for taking the time and making a space for another creator. And that's very important that we support each other,
it's love. It's
and
love,
lift each other up.
I told you from the beginning, it's love.
All right, man. Instagram, Corey the Voice. Was that intentional with the 2 E's? The Voice?
Corey the Voice is taken. But yeah, shout out to Meg because D Stallion, as she blew up, it was easier to be like 2 E's like Meg. And
I like that. Yeah. You got the YouTube popping, over 450 subscribers, over 50K total views. Twitter's booming, over 30K total views. You got a great resume. Let's start right now. What do you want the people to know about you?
That we are black first and independent second. I think them the two most important things. Yeah, black first, independent second. You know what I mean?
Yes,
black
sir.
independence.
What does independence mean to you? You mentioned that a couple times now.
I know. I guess the cliche is get it out the mud, but doing it on your own. From a lack of resources and just still be able to come away from it, especially without a mainstay of whatever in your medium or art form is considered the mainstream. You're doing it outside of that, adjacent to that. I'd consider you independent.
Yeah,
it's all nuance. I mean, you can convince me a lot of ways, but yeah.
Or if you don't have like the major backing from somewhere that's constant funding,
right?
That's it.
Yeah, that's that mainstream outlet and comedy and stand-up comedy. It would be the clubs, you know what I mean? Yeah. Improv and Laugh Factory are all over the world. We got the Comedy Store here. Flappers, Ha Ha. We got a lot of really great clubs. And I think I've just produced outside of that. And that's internet culture, period. That's what a TikTok comedian is. You independent until they come bring them brand deals and somebody knock on your door and now you got something different. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's tight, too. I love that for everybody who's got one. Let's take it back to the beginning. Where are you from? What brought you here?
I'm from Gary, Indiana. I was born in Chicago, Illinois. My family's from Chicago, but I'm a Gary, Indiana representative. I mean, you might catch me repping both. Don't call me false flagging. Like, I'm really from Chicago and I'm really from Gary. I'm for real. And I moved to LA 3 years ago, literally. This is my 4th year in LA. I moved here February 2020, a month before the pandemic, unfortunately.
Yeah, right after that.
In retrospect, the pandemic was going on, but niggas, like, we remember, like, people were like, black people ain't catching COVID. Yeah, we were still in that phase. Like, Rudy Gobert touched the mic and was like, luckily he's French, and that's how ignorant we were.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
He touched every mic and the whole table and everything.
But yeah, I've been here 3 years. February 2020.
How did it affect you in March when everything started shutting down?
It's panicky because I didn't come here. I came here in like a co-living, so a bunch of people living there, and like maybe 70% of the house evacuated.
Really?
So yeah, you sitting there like, oh, should I go home? Your mama's saying go home, and I had only done one open mic since I've been here. 2 episodes of my pod, maybe 3.
Yeah, you was at the very beginning.
And right, no stimulus check, no PPP,
Yeah.
no unemployment, nigga.
How were you paying the bills at that time?
We weren't.
Understood.
But yeah, we'll leave it at that. Shout out to that.
Yeah.
But fortunately, shout out to God because he made a way.
Right.
But I don't know. I think I look back on it now, and I'm so cool with all of those guys that I lived with that stayed there.
Yeah.
And I think it was that friendship and brotherhood, and even the women too. Sorry, the sisterhood that I built as well with all those people at the co-living. It literally just made me stay. I was like, fuck it, man. We eating ramen together. Like, we band together. I got food stamps. Right. Send me $100 if you can. Bitch, I'm going to make it. And, maybe a month later, the stimulus came, unemployment came, and
that was good for y'all, man. I was still working.
Oh my God, being home. Okay, so was it different at home? I'm sorry. Look, we ready to have a pod, but
I was upset because I was making less than what the homies was making. Because I was still just making. I had my salary job, but Cass told me they was making $1,000 a week.
I can neither confirm or deny.
But after I quit my job, I started getting $1,000 a week. I had to make a decision.
It was great. Yeah, I just especially where I was staying. Yeah. We made so much content. It literally.
See, that's tight.
Yeah, it put me in a position I think I am in LA where some people be like, Corey made so much content. It's like, no, I mean, that first year we made so much content. I'm trying to get back to that. But yeah, it put us in a position to make a lot of content and then pivot into the other stuff we end up doing.
Right. No, that's super dope. And you said at that time you only did one stand-up.
I did one open mic when I was out here. Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't my first stand up, but yeah, it was. I did one fucking open mic while I was out here, and I thought to myself that I moved here for a stand. I don't know. I just moved here. I don't even want to give a reason.
It's all good
because it would be a lie. I couldn't tell you. It could be a multitude of things. Yeah, I was like, I gotta be here, and I knew stand up was a part of that. So doing one was kind of, and then I bombed at that one. So I was like, fuck, no way. And shout out to Ryan, the cable viewer. He's a big. I know a lot of people know him in the stand up open mic world out here in LA. Really good guy, really funny guy. Yeah, he was the guy I remember in the front row as I was bombing, and I never forget it because I saw him maybe a year and a half later.
Yeah,
I was murdering.
Yeah,
he was hosting a room. I was murdering.
How was that? How was
Reese? We speak every time to this day because of that set of me murdering. Me reminding him like, you saw me my first mic before the pandemic. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it's just a good moment. But yeah, I just knew I had to be doing stand up, so I was affected by that. But I think that was why we created so much content because I was like, well, if I'm not doing stand up,
gotta do something.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah. I'm gonna do content.
What was the club you bombed at?
It's called Bert's Back Room. It's not around anymore. It's on It was on Melrose. I know you was way like, where was you at? The Hollywood or Comedy? No, y'all can't even. You would have to be a pre-LA 2020 comic to know what Bert's Back Room is because everybody that I mentioned it to that is always knows. Yeah, but it was supposed to be a popping room. Me and the homie went. I think I invited too many girls because he did not want to go up. He was a younger comic than me. Did not want to go up. I was like, what you doing, nigga? On the way there, he caught like a fit. And I was like, nigga, I'm about to go up and murder. Went up, ate shit in front of the bitches. Oh, and Ryan the cable viewer. Yeah, the rest is, I feel like history for our story. But yeah, that was it.
You said earlier, as we were talking, that you're not a real comic until you bomb. You feel like that gave you the courage to continue to go on, like gave you the confidence I could do this or I did this and I can just keep going from here?
Bombing. All right, I'm gonna answer this first. Answer the bombing because that's not exactly what I said, but I'm gonna answer this first. Okay. Bombing definitely makes you strong. I was just texting a young comic and he was like, I'm not an everybody comedian. I wanted to like text him like, bitch, shut up, that's not a real thing.
Right.
Like, but bombing is good for the soul. You have to be humbled. It's the real-time reactions. It's the same as social media, not getting no likes and feeling like, damn, ain't nobody. And it makes you go right back to the drawing board. It makes you try harder of like, because you are writing by yourself. So you be like, does this joke work? Right. And sometimes it don't. Or is this tone or is this line too far? And the audience will let you know. And don't just stop at one audience. I always tell young comics, once you bomb at a joke, try it a couple times. Like if you bomb 2-3 times, that's different. Like, and not on the fourth time because you said it harder and louder. And
Right.
yeah, I mean, you was in a rowdy room or whatever.
You got to feel your way through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll say the one thing I did say was my homie Stephen Marcus said, "You're not a real comic until you die up there."
Yeah.
Death up there is different. And that's a deeper conversation. Like I was talking about crying after a breakup up there, just being completely emotionally vulnerable. And that's a moment you have up there and the audience is going to be quiet and you're not understanding. And I tell a lot of young comics, like, you got to trim the fat off that joke. Because sometimes you're trying to tell the whole story or get it all out. Yeah, and it's too wordy. And then those be the moments that you've died up there because you think you can do that because you've told a story and got to a punch. And then you think you can get there and the punch you got in the back of your mind don't work, and now you dying because you're trying to tell more of the truth and you're hurting yourself. Now I'm crying, and that's true comedy because, like, bro, you ain't gonna go up like not that first time when you bomb and you don't go up for 3 weeks, a month, whatever it is. When you die up there after you've been doing it a while, you're like, I thought I had it. That's a different beast, bro.
How often do you sorry, we got the stands on point.
No, you all good. You're funny as hell.
How often do you find people are arrogant, like in the clubs?
In the comedy clubs, right?
Yeah.
It's all nuanced, man. I've definitely ran into some motherfuckers, man. I always tell the thing of, like, I've seen people pay me to be in open mics. People I've booked on multiple shows not speak to you when they get to the club.
Really?
Yeah. But it's one thing I try to tell the younger comics, and niggas can call me salty, whatever, but the clubs ain't pros.
Right.
I feel like the clubs is Division I basketball, Division I football, whatever sport analogy, but that's D1.
Right.
Being at the store, the Improv, the Factory, yo Funny Bone, wherever you are, your Helium clubs, wherever you are, you D1. You got recruited to the big school. And what comes with that is the big names and the big alumni is coming through to push you through.
Right.
The boosters and things like that. Everybody not getting to that, don't get to that level.
Right.
You know what I mean? And sometimes it's an arrogance about that. Some people, like, you grow up in so much nostalgia, your favorite comics came up through that, and you think that's your only way. And I guess in my experience, bro, I wanted the club so bad. First time I was in Chicago, I saw a comedian's name is Felonious Monk. He just helped write Roy Woods on his White House correspondent. For the
shout out to him, man.
But yeah, very funny comic. But yeah, I saw him in the Laugh Factory Chicago, and it was my first night back doing stand up in Chicago after 3 months after bombing in Chicago. And I remember going, I got to get on this stage. This is where it's at. Because a dude who invited me met me on the street that night. We was smoking a blunt. And he was like, you want to come to the Factory? You just did an open mic, nigga. Didn't know me. Shout out to Rovon Hill. My dog, I just saw him when we went back on tour.
That's tight.
But yeah, I saw Felonious and I was like, man, Factory's always a go, and it still is. But when I never got the clubs, you start beating yourself up. But then we talked about it off camera. You always got to do the work.
Yeah.
And then I just saw the alternative side, and I was like, well, if I'm willing to do all this work independent, I'll keep doing this work independent. It's not for everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the clubs is going to come around. I've seen it for the other homies. And if they don't, they don't. But that's not the league. Like, the league, getting paid for what you do. So going on the road, I mean, whatever, residency, selling out your shows, your independent shows. I think that's the league more so, getting brand deals and elevating into the different space or going on your own tour, you know, but that's the league. Those other things get you there. Like, the clubs get you there. So as far as arrogance in the club, I guess I went a roundabout way of saying, like, please don't worry about niggas gonna be arrogant when they go to Alabama.
Right.
Niggas gonna be arrogant when they get that scholarship to Duke. I swear to God. All them niggas don't go to the league. All them niggas be on that team. Coach K still coaching seniors. It ain't all one and dones. And a lot of them niggas like 6th, 7th, 8th year seniors.
Yeah.
So don't let that shit discourage you, dog.
Right. I got you. I appreciate that answer too. So you done a lot. And man, real fast, because you have a wisdom to you, man. Let people know how old you are. It startled me. I didn't realize you were the age that you were.
I'm 29. I turned 30 in December.
This is crazy. It's a wise boy right there, man, for real.
No, somebody, when I first got to LA, it was me. I was 26, 25, 26. the guys with me were 17, 19, 20, and 19. Mm-hmm. So everybody assumed I was like 22, 23. They was like, well, he like, I mean, I think he wise. He a couple years older than them niggas. And like, you start hearing the age, and it's like, oh, okay. Well, that's why you wear. And it's like, no, I'm a little inconsistent. Right. I could be more punctual. I think things like that. Yeah. But yeah. Thank you for that.
Man, you dropped some jewels, man, for real. Every time we speak. Now you said you started your comedy troupe, the improv troupe in 2013.
Yeah,
that was college. What was that like?
That's my genesis of comedy. Like, I mean, we can talk about growing up on Def Jam or Comic View, but that's a different pod. But fucking improv, bro. We were talking about it off camera. Stand-ups don't respect improv.
Right.
So growing up in comedy, and yes, and as Gary Seinfeld says, however many years you are in comedy, that's how old you are in this game.
Right.
Like, so when you see 30-year vets, they reflect 30 years. I'm 10 years in. So it's like starting in that troupe, like it built everything. Like, I think some of my most impressive moments is handling the crowd and becoming an MC, a master of ceremony, controlling the room. And that comes from improv of just, you ain't got no topic. You know what I mean? They picking your topic, or you trying to come up off the top of your head. And we were a black improv troupe. So everything was really off the top. We did stage plays where we didn't know what the second act was going to be. So it's like, no. It made me strong, and then it made me arrogant too. You talking about people in the clubs? Like, sometimes I fell away because we was doing standing room only 500 seat theaters when I was 19, 20. I did 5,000 seats when I was 21. I did the damn the sync contest with all the white frats and white sororities, and I hosted that and did stand up. And I always think like, that's still my biggest show event wise. You know what I mean? So it definitely prepared me. I say if you in college, like, the experience, I mean, like they always say, if you're going to be a doctor, be there. But like, man, go to college, get a salary. In retrospect, I always say that. Yeah. Shit, I wish I would have, you talk about working in radio. I had so many opportunities to work in radio, even not finishing college. You know what I mean? Because I was there for so long. Like, niggas just thought I finished. But all of that shit played a part. Improv, it put me in so many rooms. ESPN3, all types of shit. That's where I wrote my first script, came up with my first sketches. It's the reason I got into stand-up, because I was like, you watch so many comics even doing improv, and even back then they were saying like, you ain't a real comic till you do stand-up. That's what they would say. And I was like, well, I think I'm super funny. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm one of the funniest ones. I'm top 3 in the group at the first year. So I'm like, shit, where the stand-up at? Right. 6 months later, I did stand-up.
There you go. It's a brave moment, man, to do it your first time. Like, people don't understand that. You know, I remember my first time stepping up on that stage, and I was like, this is something I've always wanted to do. And I got up there, and I probably wasn't the funniest person up there. It was cool. You know what I mean? It was what it was, but it was like, I could do this again, though. Yeah. You know?
That was your, man.
Like, my first show was 2019.
And you felt like, so did you do good, or was it okay?
It was all right.
It was okay.
Yeah,
but you still felt like, okay, I got another crack at this.
Yeah, I could. And in Seattle, all the open mics were like 3-minute mics.
Yeah.
So it was like, this is quick, and it went by hella fast. I think I had like I had 2 minutes worth of like solid material. I didn't know what to do for the last 60 seconds. I did a little bit of crowd work.
I was just about to say 3 minutes is so much shorter than, I tell a lot of comics, you don't even understand how long that 5 minutes can be.
Listen, because
have you been up there yet in these 3 years? Have you been up there in that 5 minutes? You're like, it's long.
Yeah, but I started, it helped me get better at pacing though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I'm working on lately. Is pacing.
Yes.
How do you pace yourself? 3 to 5. If it's new material, old material, how to recall it, you know, and I just kind of stretch it out.
Yeah.
How much crowd work you're gonna do in a 5-minute span? You know what I mean? Things like that.
Yeah, that 5 versus 3, it's such a crucial moment being up there, and that's such a good. I'm glad you did okay your first time, because you always hear like if you do super bad, you know what I mean, your first time, and I know my first time, bro, crazy. I decided to do it in January 2014, didn't do it to April 2014, so I was working on the 5 minutes the whole time, and I didn't do a regular open mic. I did the school talent show, the college talent show on campus. Yeah. So I'm already known for that. So that is built in, I promise you, because you're going to see it as you get older in comedy and be like, man, this nigga getting courtesy laughs. But that's built in, but so that definitely played a part into it. But the first time I did it, it's in a sold-out university hall in a theater, 500 seats, do my first 5. I murdered. Murdered. I came third in the talent show behind two singers.
Mm-hmm.
One singer brought a band out and did Dream Girls. I couldn't
there
beat
you
her.
go.
Shout out to
No,
you,
she
baby.
did
I'm mad I ain't get invited to the wedding. We ain't saying no names, Mel. But yeah. Yeah, I won $150. So like that
nice.
same thinking you having to like, nah, I gotta keep doing this. Nigga, I said 5 minutes, $150?
Yeah.
Nigga.
Yep.
Hey, so what's more stand up can do for me?
Yeah, I like that. Now we were didn't have this part on the pod, but we were just talking about you said synergy maps. Right, the importance of writing your goals down.
Shout out to synergy maps, vision boards. We talking about synergy maps, and I only brought it up because the first time I saw it, there's a very good guy on Twitter called Dan Runcie. Everybody should follow him. He has a page called Trapido. He does all types of business breakdowns in the industry. And one thing he did maybe 3-4 years ago was Issa Rae's synergy map when she got her big deal from HBO, whatever it's reported to be. I know it's 9 figures, but it just led back to everything. Everything led back to Issa Rae Productions from the beginning of the YouTube, starting the record label, everything. And you were talking about your whiteboards, and I was just like, write everything down. And I was saying that the little homies used to make fun of me when they first met me out here because I had a fucking edit this out because no, I'm just but I shout out to the heckling. But I have a Bible. It's a big ass binder. It probably includes maybe 8 notebooks full. Some from college, some from post-college, some from the last few years. But it's everything you're talking about, Joe. I feel like my whiteboards are for everything I have going right now.
Yeah.
And my notebooks are for everything. Like even when I'm thinking of philosophies or ways, it has marketing strategies in it, rollout plans, just ideas, stand-up jokes, sketches. I've written everything in this. And they call it the Bible because I always pull it out of this big book when it's time to like, all right, y'all, we got to get to it. But it's just my reference point of like, bro, I have my marketing class notebook in there. I have my first year of audio broadcasting notebook in there.
Yeah.
You know those classes where you like, damn, nigga, I was supposed to be here. And that's when niggas be like, oh, I learned so much from and yeah, you probably could have learned it from YouTube for sure. Not even probably, you could have.
YouTube University.
YouTube University like I am, because that's where my degree is technically from for sure. But those notebooks, I love writing everything down like an old school rapper. So that's why the whiteboard conversation. But yeah, I was just like, nah, nigga, I write everything down. Reese.
Right.
Everything, yeah.
I've just started taking more notes in my notes app in the phone. Just trying to structure it more and inviting people to put notes in there. You know, you can
share the notes.
Yeah, to share notes.
No, you about to say, do you know?
Oh yeah,
nigga, I've pitched fucking whole series through Notes app.
Yeah,
put it in Final Draft.
Well,
and
that's how we
through, nigga.
That's how we were doing it for the podcast, just sharing notes for topics and stuff like that. You know, or just I got hip to the.
That's a
notes.
good one for the pod.
I got hip to the sharing notes that this chick was cheating on her boyfriend. It was lit. That's what she was using it for. That's how she showed me. I thought it was tight. I didn't know it had more practical uses. That's what I started using it for.
Yeah, I didn't know it had more practical
She was like, she's like, let's do this. Let's do a note. She's like, I want to invite you, and then we just write in there and we delete it. And I was like, oh, that's tight. He's not gonna check the notes. He's gonna check text messages.
God,
that's tight. I like that.
Yeah, notes. Please don't use notes for your salacious relationships. But yeah, notes is so valuable. Yeah, I'm a big notes guy.
Yeah,
and like I've seen the tweets, but I do that as well. Like I'm so big on notes and then putting it in a notepad because your phone you could lose everything.
We'll
don't got enough. Yeah, the cloud. I don't have enough storage in the cloud, so everybody don't have. Okay. I got 64 gigs right now. I used to have 256, so I know when you at 256, you like anything going to cloud, nigga. I'm a quarter of a gig, like I'm a quarter of a terabyte, nigga.
I have 200 gigs, just for cloud storage, and I have 128 on my phone.
See, and that's valuable because you can film on your phone, like if you needed the second angle. Like I'm literally finna go to AT&T in the next couple weeks, get a new phone, and get either 128, 256, literally just because of the content of like, no, I need more. I'm trying to do vlogs. I'm doing a lot. Sometimes the camera can die on you.
You see this right here? You see this unlimited battery pack right here?
Yeah.
That's what, because
no, pure independence is sometimes. Somebody was asking me the other day, I was like, man, I lost my basically my cameraman, my editor. He was like my go-to. We could market together. We created together.
Yeah.
I said, damn, I need another. And she was like, I do everything myself. And I was like, I'm not saying I don't do everything myself, but you know how valuable it is when the nigga got his camera bag, pull it around, and got 2 charged batteries.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, this is different. He has a gimbal, girl. We not playing around with like no little shit. Like, we trying to like, I want people that could do 5,000 things like me, and that's valuable.
That's crazy.
But that is independence. Your camera dying and having to maneuver through that, having the storage to do it, and notes for sure. Like, you wanted to, like, right, if your phone died, I want to be like, all my shit's in the cloud, I'm good.
Right.
We going to get the new phone today.
Yep.
Somebody throw me in the pool for content. We going to get the new phone. Everything's in there.
Yep, there we go. I like that. I love that, actually. All right, we're gonna we probably got another 10 minutes to go, but I do want to get into some of the stuff that you've done. Let me see. Just you said you produced multiple podcasts and live productions since 2015. You had an opportunity to open for Niles Abston. Was that on tour? Was that a tour? You went on with Niles?
I went on the Y'all Had to Be Here tour. They were doing a podcast.
And shout out to Niles, by the way.
Shout out to Big Niles, punk ass nigga. No, I'm just don't cut that out. Nigga. Shout out to Niles. Niles, Arthur, Stephen Marcus Relaford, and my boy Johnny Mack doing a podcast. We were all under the same umbrella in the same studio doing it, and that's basically where we connected. I ended up doing Niles' Basement Fest. He produces a independent festival. And he saw me do stand-up. I think he took a liking to it. I know he took a liking to it.
Right.
And we were already under the same umbrella, so it was just kind of natural. Those boys went on tour in the spring. And, I was the opener for that tour. And amazing. I speak nothing highly of it. That tour, it taught me a lot. It makes me feel a little entitled. You talking about club arrogance. That's why I tell my young boys now, that is not the league. Like, you can get paid to do shows, like, out of town, and people follow you, and you make connections to do shows out of town without the person you went out of town with the first time.
Right.
So,
No, that's tight, man. Let me see. You said you produced over 25 live shows in LA, including a weekly open mic in NoHo for 16 months. You doing any? What shows are you producing now?
All right. So right now we're doing nothing. We are working on producing. That's funny. Right now we're working on producing a. What can I say without? No, I could just say it. We're working on producing a backyard residency. I think a little bit of what some people know me for is a backyard show called The Block Party last summer, and I'm working on bringing that back. I'm working with trying to get trying to work some things out right now, and then me and a couple of the other homies, we're trying to come together and create like a circuit, just a little underground circuit. You know what I mean? For the blacks, for the LGBTs, for the Latinos, for the Asians, for everybody that's not getting booked everywhere else. There's so many good comics in the city, and not cliche because you got some numbers. I'm talking about niggas. I'm always trying to get the niggas with no numbers that's super dope on my shows. Musicians as well. We always put musicians on our shows. They know we gonna cook at our shows. They know we gonna give fucking edibles, pre-rolls, whatever it is. So working on bringing that show back with the circuits. So I'll say that, like, we want it to be a whole nother circuit to end the year, but that should be done in the next couple, maybe month or two, where all that shit should get announced and we'll be back. But we coming back strong. Maybe an open mic. I'm not into running open mic, neither is the other older homies, but we got some younger homies in the crew, and we know how beneficial open mic is, especially as like a feeder system to get booked on the show. So it's just like, we working out. All that shit's being worked out. I promise you, it should be a fruitful sundress summer.
Come on, come on, them sundresses. And for the ladies, man, don't ruin them sundresses by having drawers underneath. Just have your sundress. Just let it breathe. All right, like you said, the summertime relief to your debut comedy mixtape. Now, is that coming out this year? That's coming out this year. I was about to say too much. That's coming out to this year. Is there anything you can say that I know you got your own platforms. I don't want to steal your thunder. Go ahead. Is there anything that you can say to us about, just about it, or what? It's very cool. It is not a comedy special. It is a mixtape. It's very much so
a mixtape. It is not this cohesive project.
Right.
You know, I don't, and it's not thrown together either though. Because I think at first I wanted to throw something together. The homie Arthur Hamilton dropped a mixtape in November. I've seen so many people drop these type of comedy albums.
Yeah.
And I'm framing it as a mixtape for marketing purposes. That'll be revealed very soon.
I like that.
Hopefully in the next few weeks. That's weeks away. The album's weeks away. Like it's completely done. The videos are done. It's just the marketing around it. I just want that you independent, so the rollout. Yeah. I guess sometimes independence you think too much about the rollout. Just put your content out. But yeah. But yeah, I just wanted. I got a little vision, so I want to at least achieve a good portion of that vision, and then we're gonna drop it. But we're a few weeks away from the album.
Absolutely.
And I'll say that it's very black. It's very funny. And y'all is gonna like it, I think. So we spent a lot and my mama's on it. Everybody be acting on my mama. My mama is on the album. I'll say that. My mama is on the album.
Yeah, that's tight. Real fast. Is there a date for that, or it's just weeks?
There's just weeks. Once you put a date on it, then you got to stick to that date. Yep. Yeah, once I get the other pieces of content, and this was part of this too. I was like, damn, this is dope because we were looking for another interview. Yeah. And when you asked, I was kind of like, oh, that's dope. They're just already doing something. I was like, oh, we could chop this up and use this as well. Yeah. So it's just like, oh, okay. So this is part of it. We probably about 3 pieces of content away. Okay, that could be one day. That's what I'm saying.
That's still dope to frame it that way.
Yeah, so we about 3 pieces of content away to be ready to push it. That's it. What I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like it's literally a piece. It's a month's worth of like we could roll out for 2 weeks and drop the album for a month. Like so, it's 6 weeks of work. So 6 weeks of content that y'all gonna see. It's a lot of work, but yeah. We are close. Shout out. Thank you for asking that.
Absolutely. And then. The second season of your travel food show.
808s and Heartburn. We can say that. 808s and Heartburn because season 1 is already out. So we've already copyrighted that. It's on my YouTube. Gotcha. Shout out. Season 1's out. There's 4 episodes of season 1. Season 1 we did home cooking. Yeah, because it was during quarantine. Season 2 has been maybe 2 years too long. And I promise you season 3 will drop in 2024 as well. Yeah. I can say that. Yeah. I haven't said that nowhere. We can drop. We will drop. Now we can. We will drop 2 seasons of this in 2022. Travel food. So I can say a lot about that because we're
808s and Heartburn.
Yeah, we're halfway done with that. There should be 8 episodes of this one. We're halfway done. It's a travel food show. We're trying to find the best food on the street in LA this season. Okay. Every season has a different theme. Okay. So we're trying to find the best food in LA on the street, and super dope. Shout out to my boy Life of Jay, very talented musician performing at the Virgil next month. He is my co-host in it. He runs Tosic Productions, which is also a clothing line. We got a lot of dope stuff. Niles Abston in that season. Camille Corbett, Asia Chardonnay, Courtney Haynes. Yes, it's a lot of dope people in season 2, and it'll be a lot of dope people, some surprises, a lot of good food, and food content's the best. It's the easiest. It's the most fun I have.
That's tight, man. Yeah. I'm excited. You got me hyped for it. Like for real,
got me hungry.
I told you I want to do a cooking show, man. So
no, we can get together and do some cooking content. I gotta figure out. I do so much food and cooking content because somebody told me like, oh, you should use that for 808s, and I just haven't figured out whatever the cliche name would be for the stuff that's not 808s. Because we can get you on 808s eventually. Even if it's like I said, we going season 3. We gonna try to knock season 3 out right after season 2 is done. Gotcha. So that's why I'm saying that's why I'm like 2 seasons. But let's get some food content, nigga. In the camera because I don't end it. But if we're not done, don't end it. But yeah, we off camera. I got you. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. That's excitement. That's like we were saying, bro. Recently, you can't fake passion, man. That was it right there. Okay, so last questions I got for you. 2 of them. You ready? One cliche question: who's your favorite comic right now and all time? And then we'll answer that first, and then I'm gonna end it with this last.
My favorite comic right now is Shane Gillis. I know my Black Warriors is gonna be mad that I didn't pick a black comic, but I could have picked anybody from 85 South. That would be my honorable mention because them boys just got their Netflix. They preach independence. Man, I saw that. It is dope. Shout out to Nav Green, Lewis Belt, all of Ronnie Jordan, all of the guys on the outside. Chad Oubre, the producer, Jon. Shane Gillis, the sketches, the Austin special. Shane's a fucking magician. He just posted the fucking video, Chappelle bringing him up the cellar, saying, "Yo, do that fucking joke I like." And I said, "Nigga," I was crying, laughing, rewatching him do the joke in front of Chappelle because I remember my first time going, "This white boy funny."
Yeah.
And so yeah, and then what is it? My all time. Can't give one. My mighty three, as Good Boy Q said, Biggie and Nas put their ass in some blunt, mixes some 50 and came out this nigga. He three niggas. Eddie Griffin, Chris Rock, Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac was probably the name I was gonna say if I had to do one, but Eddie Griffin and Chris Rock, man, I've always wanted to be a Dick Gregory ass comic.
Yeah,
and those like two, man, just like man, we gotta tell the truth out here, nigga. Yeah. And Bernie just, I'm just a Red Fox ass nigga. I come from that, man. Right. You know what I mean? Shooting the shit. That's my mama's favorite comic, real Chicago ass nigga. That's how we talk on stage. So Bernie,
gotcha. My family's my dad's family's from Indianapolis.
Oh, come on, Mike Evans. But Indianapolis, that area that in the Midwest,
yeah.
Bernie is God, man. He is God, dog. Like my mama, bro.
I've been to Chicago 3 times in my life, and I went to the I've been to the House of Blues twice.
Shout out. Yes, it is. Yes,
I love the House of Blues. It's on Sundays?
Yes, it is. Come on now. Come on, talk that nigga shit. Yeah.
Goddamn, man. Hey, we got a chance to get on stage with the choir. That shit was lit. We didn't have a House of Blues in Seattle.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. Is there a House of Blues there? There's a House of Blues in LA. Yeah. No, was there? Never was.
I don't know if there never was. I'm sure there's not, because House of Blues is a franchise and LA has so many theaters. I could be wrong. Correct us and we'll look right after. But I don't think it might be like San Diego or something. If there is a House of Blues,
I know there's a House of Blues
because I know Lil Wayne's doing like the House of Blues circuit and he's not doing House of Blues out here. But that's why I'm thinking he wouldn't do House of Blues out here, because you could find a 1,500. You could do the Fonda 1,200 seater. You know what I mean? El Rey's 900 seats, something like that.
Gotta figure this out.
Yeah. That's so funny. Niggas is, yeah. See, I don't know the clubs well, but I know the theaters well because we really independent out here. We really independent.
Last question I have for you. If you could be a superhero with one superpower, just one superpower, what would it be?
Wolverine, because that's my favorite superhero. That's so crazy. Quick answer. I think Wolverine could kill any superhero. I always wanted to see Wolverine versus the Hulk, and then I heard there's a comic book about it, and I was like, I'm not a nerd. And then
you ever read it?
No, I haven't. No, I know what happens now, but that it even leads to my point of Wolverine is him, and like, so if you put in Wolverine versus Thanos or whatever, especially X-Men terminology, whatever Omega mutant you want, he regenerates. I mean, I know how easily Magneto dismantles him. But yes, it would be Wolverine, because that's just a nigga. I'm mad.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like hearing just different people's answers, man. Just, you never know who's a nerd or who's not, That's just tight. Well, brother, man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for making the time.
This was fun, and it was 40 minutes. Hey, this is a good show if you keeping them like this. Yeah.
It was an honor, sir, for real. I really mean that. With your
young, I'm gonna tell people. I'm gonna tell all the young comics. Well, I'm gonna get you some good comics. You want Niles? Who else you want?
So Niles said he come.
Oh, you already got Niles.
Courtney said no. Put that in his ear too, please. Get
Niles. You want Rachel Wolfson from Jackass? We can talk about that off camera.
Let's do it, man.
I try to get you like. I'll send it to them, give them the recommendation.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, man, this is Laugh with the Comedian. Again,
good name.
My man Corey Young. Again, it's Reese. We're out.